Peace and Yah bless. Yah is a strong one. Strong one is Yah. He's a tree of life. He's a fountain of living waters. He's the spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe. Now, on this particular discourse, I'm going to talk more about some of the judgments still to come. Now, on my last video, I talked about the remnant, talked about the judgment of Moab. Well, along with that judgment is the burden of Damascus, or the judgment of Damascus. So Damascus, Syria, at some point is going to receive a judgment from the Most High. Now, this is in Isaiah chapter 17, verse number 1. Okay? The burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. So it doesn't matter what the leader of Syria is doing, because as you guys have noticed, a lot of his people, they have, basically become refugees in other countries, running away from that war. But, the leader of Syria, he basically doesn't even care. He just wants to hang on to what he's hanging on to, in his country, and just let anything happen to the people. Because, the Israelis come through and bomb all over the place inside of Syria. I'm talking about indiscriminately. Anytime they get ready, they come in there and bomb all over the place inside of, talking about the Israelis, the IDF. And, Bashar Assad doesn't do anything about it. You notice that he never does anything about that? He lets them come through, bomb all over his country, never does a thing about it. Well, someday that's gonna come back and haunt him, because the burden of Damascus is going to take place in that old city. Because Damascus, Syria is I think is the oldest city on the planet. Okay? But someday it's going to be taken away from being a city. Period. Okay? Another judgment soon to come. All right? So, now, here's something that you guys need to understand and get understood. Okay? Now, if you notice right here in Isaiah chapter 28, it's talking about Ephraim, or the northern tribes, or what they would call the PLO today, right? And it's talking to them, okay? The Most High is talking to them through Isaiah, his prophet. Woe to the crown pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim. All right? It's talking about them and how they've done what? They have erred through wine, right, and strong drink. They're out of the way. You see, the priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. In other words, they've been delusioned, you know what I mean, by Islam, okay? So it's talking, they've been delusioned by that religion, okay? They are swallowed up of wine, okay? They're out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. See, that religion, they err in vision. They stumble in judgment. Mahmoud Abbas. See, they err in vision. They stumble in judgment. Okay? Because of what? That religion that they hold fast to. Because they don't hold fast to Yah all the way just yet. They got some, they come to some understanding about Yah, but, they ain't quite there yet as far as what we've heard, okay? So, in verse number 14 of Isaiah 28, it talks about where basically Esau, the Jews, rule over them, right? Listen right there. Listen to what it says. Wherefore hear the word of Yah, ye scornful men, talking about the Zionists, right? That rule this people, okay? Talking about the Palestinians, okay? Which is in Jerusalem, because we know who's in Jerusalem right now, the Zionists, okay? That rule over Ephraim. That's why you got to go to the very beginning of this chapter to understand who it's talking about. Because this is basically what the Zionists are saying, when they're in the land of Israel. This is what they're saying, okay? Because you have said we have made a covenant with death, right? And with hell, we are at agreement. So they don't care about killing up them Palestinians over there. They said they made a covenant with death, and they are in agreement, right, with hell. They said they don't care, because hell just means the grave, okay? Now listen to how their pride. And when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come to us. Like whatever happens, it ain't gonna come to us, right? Okay? For we have made lies our refuge. See, this is talking about the Zionist Jews. They have made lies their refuge. Lies about what? That they the true children of Israel. Now check it out. And under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Well, what false? Listen to falsehood. What falsehood? That they the children of Israel. Simple as that. They said, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Talking about they the true children of Israel, and they know it. They know it's lies and falsehood. And they say, hey, we've hid ourselves underneath that. Right? These men that rule over basically the Palestinians, right? Which is in Jerusalem. We know these men, we're talking about the Zionists, right? That rule over what people? We're talking about Ephraim, right? The northern tribes, okay? And they definitely rule over the northern tribes, right? In the land of Israel today. What they do not understand is that Yah is going to judge them, okay? Go to verse 21 of Isaiah 28. For Yah shall rise up as in the mount of Perizim, right? He shall be wroth as in the valley of Gibeon, that he may do his work, his strange work, to bring to pass his act, his strange act. And what is that strange act? The judgment of Esau. That's what it's talking about right there. Okay? And it gets deeper than that. You go read the whole chapter, the whole book, you know what I mean, of Isaiah 28, dealing with them and basically Ephraim, right? The northern tribes, or the PLO. Okay? Because they said they don't care, man. They said they made a covenant with death and are with hell, and they are in agreement with it. In other words, they don't care about the lives of those people over there, because they're the ones who rule over the Palestinians. We don't care, man. Because they have made lies their refuge, right? And under falsehood have they hid themselves. And that's exactly right. Because what? They call themselves the Zionist Jews, basically trying to say that they the true Israelites of this book. And they are not. Now, how do you know that? Because here in Jeremiah, okay, go there, chapter 17, it's talking about us. What the Most High tell us, okay? Real simple, real simple, real simple. And thou, talking about to the original black people, the Israelites, okay? Even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies, right? As slaves, right? 400 years, right? In the land which thou knowest not. Because at that time, our ancestors, when this was predicted to happen, our ancestors did not know what land it was called. There was no America at that time. Okay? For you have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Because what we basically cheated on the Most High. Because he was in a marriage type of relationship with our nation. And he made contracts with our nation, including the 10 Commandments, right? All right? And we failed. Okay? So his anger about that burns forever, no matter what. Even when he forgives us through the new covenant, the new everlasting covenant, right? He's been angry with that ever since we broke it at Sinai, and he's angry all the way up to this day about that. All right? Now you notice it says what? That we would discontinue from our heritage. In other words, we're going to be a people who does not know who it is. Okay? When we got to the Americas, all that was erased. Okay? But thankful to God, Yah, the Holy One of Israel, that he allowed people like me and people like YOR and all kind of other messengers, even those idolatrous Israelite groups, right? To go out here and reteach our heritage to our people. Okay? Because you never hear about the Jews ever not knowing who they were. Whether they was the Maccabees or whatever. They always knew they or called themselves the Jews. They always called themselves that knew who they were. They never discontinued or forgot who they were. Even in Nazi Germany, they still didn't forget it. They always knew who they were. They even had them marked as such. Okay? But that's not what this is predicting right here. This is predicting a people who would discontinue from our heritage that Yah gave to us, right? And two things. and cause us to serve our enemies, right? In a land which thou knowest not, because at that time there was no such thing as the United States of America. Okay? All right? And basically, we have kindled the Most High, a fire in the Most High's anger, which shall burn forever. So he's forever going to be mad about us, our ancestors, breaking that covenant. All right? That's why it took these 400 years for us to even come back to Yah. And many of us still don't know that we Israel. I'm talking about black Americans, right? Because y'all made us discontinue, so I make y'all stop, you know what I mean, doing your heritage, right, that he gave us, and go serve your enemies, right? All right. But we know in this book, it is also predicted that we would return to Yah. And that's what many of us have done, okay? That's what many of us Israelites have done, who woken up. That's predicted in Ezekiel 37. Okay, that's why it's called the dry bones. And you notice the bones, it's representing a dead people who did not know their identity. If we read Ezekiel 37, how we would get up one day, from the dead, from being people being called niggas and spicks and coons and whatever else, we will rise up and stand back on our feet, those dry bones. And muscles would come upon us. And we would do what? Remember that we are the true chosen people of God, Yah, the Holy One of Israel. All praise to the Holy One of Israel. How mighty he is to allow that to happen. Go read Ezekiel 37. You read about those dry bones. That's the symbolism of what's going on there. It's a nation being reborn again. That's what you guys are witnessing before your eyes right now, even dealing with this coronavirus and this lockdown. You're witnessing a nation being born again. Okay? Because y'all made us discontinue from all that, from our original heritage, and knowing that we were Israel and that we were the chosen people of God, right? That Yah chose on this earth to be above all the rest of the nations, to teach Yah's way. And that's what we're prepared to go do and getting ready to go back and do when we get back to the land of Israel, our original homeland. We ain't no Africans, because if we was Africans, the Africans would have surely came back and got us. Because we, black Americans, we the mightiest people in the world, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of categories. If we was Africans, you don't think the African nations wouldn't have came back and got us by now? If we was of that heritage? Of course they would have. Think about that for a minute. All right. But we had to discontinue from it. And Yah is the one who caused that over these 400 years. Okay? It wasn't until about 67, something like that they began teaching again that we were Israel. Even though they was teaching in the churches, they still was teaching it. I'm talking about way back then. All right? Then your Marcus Garveys and so forth. Okay? Going all the way up to your Yahweh ben Yahwehs and your Ben Amis. You know what I mean? And many others, Brother Elisha, YOR, even me, and other brothers, like me. Okay? So remember that. That's how you know who the true children of Israel. Okay? And this is what the Gentiles are going to say, what they're going to say. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself? Jesus, right? And they are no gods. You hear that? Shall a man do that? Okay. Shall a man do that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, thanks for listening. Peace and God bless.